Hello, parents. My name is Gary Baier, and I am teaching your child this year in English. As you can see here, I teach English 11 and AP Language and Composition. And here on this first slide, I've also included my email for you for your reference. And I'm going to talk a little bit about email communication later in this presentation. First of all, thank you so much for joining me and taking a look here. I want to give you a brief background on my experience. I grew up right here in Fairport. I graduated in 2006 from Fairport, and this is my 11th year teaching, my 6th year teaching here at Fairport High School. As we talk about this year, two really important resources that I highly recommend that both you use, and then I'm also pushing your child to use every day in our work together. The first one is Google Classroom. I know that that's kind of the big resource and tool that your child will be using this year. Here is an example of one of my Google Classrooms, and I set all of my Google Classrooms up similarly. Right up here at the top is the link for your child to meet on those virtual Wednesdays, or if your child is virtual on Monday, Thursday, this is where he or she goes to access the link for us to meet. Also, you'll see that I organize the stream every day. I put really every 2 days. We are asynchronous in English, so when students are not with me, they're not tuning in virtually. They have work assigned to them that they should be completing outside of class on the days that they're not with me. And you'll see that for every 2 days, so this is for Thursday the 17th and Friday the 18th, I put the list of exactly what we do in here in class, and then I list out the homework. I also include at the end of the homework which assignment they should need to refer to, and then I also put any other important notes in here that they will need. I also then, right after that post, I will always have the assignments that I'm referring to right after that post that they can click on and go to. Also, if they click on classwork, this is also where they can access all of their assignments and/or materials and resources. And you'll see in here that I have also organized those by topic. School Tool, I know that's not a new resource for anyone, but I do highly recommend that both you and your child are in there often checking School Tool. If a child has not handed in, if a student has not handed in an assignment, I will end up putting a 0 in there as a placeholder just to notify you and your child that, I still have not received that assignment from them. For these first few weeks, as we're all trying to figure out this digital world and in these this virtual format, I'm really going to be somewhat lenient on your son or daughter getting the work in, because I know that oftentimes it may be a technology issue. That being said, I'm still going to hold them accountable and make sure that they are completing the work in the end, because that's extremely important, especially as we move forward and look ahead at the exams that they're going to be taking at the end of this year, which again I'll talk about in a moment. The virtual situation. I just wanted to briefly touch on some major virtual expectations. I know that this district sent out the virtual expectations so that when students are joining virtually, they know what's expected of them. We are asking that they attend on time. We are asking that they have their cameras turned on. And we ask that they are looking to engage as much as possible. I acknowledge the awkwardness of trying to engage during a Google Classroom, and that's something that I deal with as well in my meetings. But the idea is that we're trying to simulate as much of the classroom experience virtually. So that's kind of the purpose behind those expectations. Just a reminder that every Wednesday, your child will be joining me virtually, and all of his or her teachers virtually throughout the day. So those virtual expectations are really important. You'll also see here, I've copied, feel free to copy and paste the link in the description of this video for FCSD's reopening plan and all related resources if you don't already have that link, or if you are missing some resources that you need. Also, I want to talk briefly about routines, time management, and accountability. Daily routines, and I've had this conversation with every one of my classes, the daily routines is going to become very important. Even for us as teachers, we're trying to figure out how these routines how our routines have changed and how we're going to make sure that we're, ready and doing everything that we need to do on a daily basis. And so I really put some recommendations in here for students that, again, I talk to your child about in class. Just avoid staying up super late on days that they're not going into school the next day. Try to be up, reasonable time by 9, but also to sleep in and catch up on sleep a little bit. And the biggest recommendation I can make is I'm really encouraging students to make sure that they set aside 40 minutes on the off days that they're not in school to complete work for each one of their classes. So 40 minutes for each class. Now, sometimes, obviously, if your child is taking an advanced placement course, they sometimes will need more than the 40 minutes, but as long as they're setting that time aside, they're making sure that they're keeping up with their work. Also, accountability. All assignments this year are graded at the teacher's discretion. And so, again, that expectation the students are doing work outside of school is very much present. And in order to be successful in English 11 this year, or AP English 11, it's going to be really critical that your child reads outside of the classroom. We just don't have the face time anymore to be able to work reading into our schedule. So it's going to be critical that they do that so that they can participate and engage when we are together in class. For Regents exam and the AP exam, we are planning as if those exams are going to be given in a traditional format. For the Regents exam, I broke down, it consists of multiple choice, an argumentative essay, a text analysis response, and if your child's taking AP language and composition, there's a multiple choice section, an argument essay, a synthesis essay, and an analysis essay. On the right side of your screen here, I just made some notes about the way that I kind of run things and the way that I look at teaching English. It is very much a skills-based subject. So much of what we do throughout the year, in fact, everything that we do is preparing students to be successful on these exams because it is working on their reading, their listening, their writing, and their speaking. And we do that, through the use of technology big time this year, through our analysis of literature and of other texts. And so everything that we do this year will be preparing them to be extremely successful on those exams, although the students may not realize that that's what we're doing because so much of that work will be embedded in what we're already reading or writing or doing in class. If you have further questions about that, please reach out. I'd be happy to discuss that in more detail. The big thing, and I want to finish with this, is I'm really pushing kids this year, and I encourage you as parents, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I am taking upon myself to be much more active with email this year because of the situation that we find ourselves in. If you do want to speak to me by phone, I just ask that you email me first because it's going to be hard to locate me in the building because I'm moving all over the place via phone. So send me an email and I'm happy to set up a time to speak with you. And I also told your child that my motto for this year, for the 2021 school year, is patience, vulnerability, and forgiveness. We're all settling into a new, but hopefully, brief normal. And so as we navigate this, I want to approach it this way with your child, with patience, with vulnerability, where I'm sharing my own struggles and sharing those with students so that it hopefully allows them to feel like, okay, their struggles are also totally legitimate. And also this idea of forgiveness. We're going to require a lot of forgiveness this year as we continue to figure this out. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, my email's on the first slide, and I so much look forward to working with your child this year. It is so nice to be able to see my students in person, even if only half the classes are here. It's one of the biggest things I missed in the spring. So thank you so much for sharing your child with us this year, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you so much.